Another perimenopause video. So welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Louise. A very warm welcome. I'm a South African mother, artist, fitness enthusiast, although lately that's waning a little bit with the fatigue and joint aches and pains of perimenopause. And so today, that's a lovely segue, nice word, segue, into this whole chat about perimenopause. So in today's video, I'm just going to cover everything I know about perimenopause and menopause, everything I've learned, what I've experienced, what I'm currently doing, the whole bang shoot. But before we get started, I have a special guest today. Come here. Here's my special guest. My special guest is somebody who will never go through perimenopause. He'll never go through what I'm going through. His name is Yogi. He's a Pekingese, as you can see, and he spends most of his life just chilling with very little bit of activity, but that's my little buddy. And back to perimenopause. Ladies, perimenopause can be a total bugger. It can make you feel like hell. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if you're up, you're down, you're coming, you're going, and it needs to be spoken about. It needs attention. It deserves education. We need to know what's going on. And for a lot of us, we had no idea what it was coming. We think we're too young for it if we're in our early 40s. Wrong. We are not too young for it in our early 40s. It can last anywhere from 2 to 10 years. And in fact, it's just a label for the period of time that we go through when our eggs are starting to be not so great, when our ovaries are running out of eggs, when some months we don't ovulate during perimenopause. Did you know that? And so what happens is some months there is no egg, and then we don't even produce progesterone. So perimenopause really is a time of change in our fertility. It's normal, yes. Is it natural? Well, maybe. Some people say Mother Nature never intended us to live past 50. Be that as it may, once we hit menopause, we have still got 30, 40, God willing, another 50 years of our lives to live as postmenopausal women. And so it is a hugely important topic. It's something we need to talk about. I'm not a doctor. I wish I was. I'm not an MD. I'm not a nurse. None of that. I'm just a normal woman going through perimenopause right now, who's done a lot of research. I've watched countless YouTube videos on the topic. And here's what I know. It can start from 35. I mean, let's not even worry about putting a time limit or label on these things. If you're having night sweats, hot flushes or flashes, joint aches and pains, brain fog, dry, itchy skin, if you're feeling depressed for no sort of obvious or real reason, anxious, heart palpitations, hair loss, hair thinning, there are so many signs and symptoms of perimenopause. In fact, I'll pop on the screen here some of them. It's a whole host of things that we can notice. I would say in general, probably from 40s onwards. So in my case, and I've spoken about this many times on my channel, I had my first true night sweat at the age of 40, which it is young. It's young. And doctors might tell you you're too young if you go to them at 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. But believe me, these things can start then, and you will feel the changes in your body. You will also lose your sex drive. You will be drier down there. Things change. Loss of interest in sex in general. And it's not just because you've been married to the same guy for so many years or whatever the case may be, or maybe you're divorced, whatever. But it's a psychological change as well. And we need to talk about all these things and all the signs and all the symptoms. Insomnia, trouble sleeping. There's so much that goes along with loss of estrogen. And yes, loss of progesterone. But as Menopause Barbie says, progesterone really is more the hormone for the baby, for the gestation of the baby. Progesterone, the O stands for the hormone. She reckons that it's not absolutely vital for us to put progesterone back unless we have a uterus. So estrogen is the main hormone that we would want to replace or replenish if we feel that we want to look at HRT. Testosterone is another one that sort of slowly declines for us, but primarily we lose our progesterone first. So every month I'm going to put up on the screen what a cycle looks like. Our estrogen rises first, and then in the second half, the progesterone rises and falls. And when both hormones fall at the end of the cycle on day like 26, the drop of estrogen and progesterone causes us to have our periods, and then we shed our uterine lining, and that's what the period is. And then we start again from day one, which is day one of our menstrual bleeding, and then we start again. Our estrogen rises, we release an egg, and then the progesterone rises, and then it falls. Now, during perimenopause, some of that happens, some of it doesn't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And it's possible that during perimenopause, our estrogen doesn't rise to quite as high of a peak as it would when we were younger. Anyway, slowly over that period, our hormones diminish, and then in menopause, we have basically no more estrogen. Whereas for men, yes, they do have a decline in testosterone, but it's very slow over many years. From the age of 18 to, let's say, 80, their testosterone is on a slow decline, but it never, ever, ever runs out. There is still a baseline for them. I mean, men can father children in their 70s, apparently even in their 80s, although I've not heard of that, but apparently physically it's possible, whereas we cannot bear children after we've gone through menopause. So it is different for us. It's different for, and I mean, we experience quite a big drop. So it's different for men and women. We will have estrogen, and then quite sort of suddenly we will have no estrogen. We don't even have a baseline of estradiol. Our fat cells produce a type of estrogen called estrone. And I believe, this is just my thoughts, I'm not a doctor, but that's why we gain weight during perimenopause and menopause, is our bodies are compensating for the lack of estradiol, which is the form of estrogen that we lose, or the type that we lose during menopause. And so our fat cells now sort of take over, they make estrone. But of course, modern medicine, the joys, we now have HRT, so you can replace your hormones. You can replace estrogen, you can replace progesterone, you can replace testosterone. Currently, I'm doing all three, and I speak about this a lot in all my videos, but I'm on a testo gel. So I rub in a bit of testosterone every morning. I'm now in week 3 of using my estrogel, which is estradiol in a gel form. And I'm now taking progesterone capsules at night. They do help with sleep, apparently. There's some debate about whether they just cause drowsiness and fuzzy thinking during the day, or whether they actually help with sleep. But it would seem that the ones I'm taking, bioidentical micronized progesterone, does promote sleep. It may not be as effective at protecting my uterus from uterine cancer, but it's good for the body. It's not as harmful as progestins, which is a synthetic form of progesterone. Some of them have got some iffy links to yucky side effects, possibly the one that they used in the Women's Health Initiative, small link to breast cancer, but in general, estrogen has no proven known link to breast cancer. That has all been disproven. That was the myth of the Women's Health Initiative in 2001, 2002. There are many, many, many videos on it on YouTube. There's also a fantastic book if you want to learn about estrogen and its benefits. It's called Estrogen Matters. I will put the book on the screen here. It's a fantastic resource for women going through perimenopause, because the main hormone that we lose is the estradiol, the estrogen. And it's the one that we probably should replace. I'm saying probably should because, again, I'm not a doctor, but this is my humble opinion based on what I've learned and researched. Again, I'm not pushing anything on anyone. It's your body, your choice. You've got to do what's right for you. I can speak from experience, though. The night sweats were getting really bad this past year. In the last sort of few months, horrendous. And the last month, prior to me going on the estrogel, night sweat after night sweat after night sweat, eventually some daytime hot flashes, morning nausea, all the works, feeling just not happy with life, that perimenopausal depression. For me, it wasn't anxiety, it's more of a black cloud, like a depression feeling. Anyway, 3 weeks now, I'm into the estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone therapy, and night sweats are gone. I can go to bed in one set of pajamas and not wake up sweating, not have to wring them out, not have to change in the middle of the night, not having the sheets drenched in sweat. And now it's winter, so you get back in and it's all cold. And as another YouTuber said, there's a special smell to that hormonal sweat. It's like, she calls it, you smell like a goat. I wouldn't say goat, but you do, well, for me, it's a sour smell, this probably like a goat's cheese smell. Yeah, so that hormonal night sweat, hot flash, it's just, it's gross. And why do we have to suffer? We really don't. There are things to take, like estrogen, that does help with that. Now, I will say most doctors probably are not keen to prescribe estrogen therapy until you're actually in menopause. I am very lucky. Where I live here in South Africa, there is a guy, he's just a GP. However, he does have I would say, an affinity to hormone replacement therapy. And he has prescribed hormones for me, and he does believe in the value of them. And he has said to my mother, and I've heard him say that the only reason you would want to stop taking hormone replacement therapy is if you are ready to die. So his philosophy gels with mine, because I do feel that there is a benefit. I mean, I can feel it straight away in the night sweats being gone. So clearly, my body was crying out for some help, and it's got the help. I would also say that I have noticed my mood has improved. I am waking up feeling more positive. Not necessarily like I want to go and conquer the whole world, but again, perimenopause for me is a time of where I'm going inwards. I'm going into myself. I'm not really seeking being outside, connecting with other people. For me, it feels like this is a time in my life where being out there, done all that, it's time to be home. It's time to be with myself. It's time to be inwards. It's time to meditate, write, read, introspect, sit with myself. And one would think, well, how much alone time can you handle? Can you do? A lot. That is the answer to that, a lot. And that's okay. I think it's a phase in life. I'm assuming and hoping there will come a phase when I'll want to be out and exploring the world again. But right now I'm going through a phase where there's nothing out there that excites me anymore. There's nothing out there that is drawing me. There's nothing out there that I haven't done or seen, or I just feel like it's a period of time. And I thought that there's something wrong with me, but now I'm starting to think maybe there's nothing wrong with me. It's just a period. It's a period of my life. It's a phase. And like all phases, when you're young, there's this phase, then you go through puberty, then you have your fertile baby making years when you are just so worried about attracting the right man and getting married and all that. And then now, this is a new phase. And the phase is grounding myself, coming back to myself. Who am I? Who am I in this world? No longer the fertile young woman that I was. And what is my new role as a perimenopausal, and then obviously at some point menopausal woman? So when fertility and having babies is kind of out of the picture, off the table, it changes your psyche, and it's a new way of being in the world. And then I suppose the gift is that it now gets you to ask, what now? What am I here for on this earth now? I've got, God willing, another, let's say 30, 40, 50 years. And obviously, the older you get, the more your children would have grown up and left home. What now? It becomes a time for you. It becomes a time when You don't have to run around trying to look good for men. You don't have, I mean, you can if you want to. It's now your time. You can do what you want. You can wear what you want. What I've found now in perimenopause, more and more and more, is that jeans, stiff, hard jeans, are just, I just don't want to wear them anymore. It's uncomfortable. The material feels hard and cold and uncomfortable. I'm really now, and I never thought I would get to this point. I never thought I would say this, but here we are. I just want to wear comfortable clothes every day. I really just want to wear elasticated waistbands, tracksuit pants, loose flowing pants, loose t-shirts. I don't really care about wearing revealing, tight, short, skimpy, all the cute things. I still like to dress up from time to time, yes. But for the majority of the time, this is how I want to be, in my sort of soft, comfortable, warm clothes, an elasticated waistband. Let's see if I can show you. Just tracksuit pants, a nice elasticated waistband. Ah, there's my pal. There he is. You can't even see the face. It's just, that's his head, believe it or not. That's his butt, but there. You wouldn't have said so if I hadn't shown you there. But I just want to be comfortable, and it's amazing how it's shifted. When I was young, even a few years ago, even last year, it was far more about my external appearance, and that is shifting, thank goodness. And very much I'm becoming far more, I don't know what the word is, but inward seeking, inward, just it's more of a spiritual feeling. It's more of a, and oh, I don't know, it's not more spiritual, it's just, it's a different feeling. But I'm definitely, yeah, the outer is far less important. Not to say that I don't care about my appearance. Obviously I do. I mean, hair's washed and brushed. You can see I do dye my hair, although my roots do need dyeing, grey hair. I mean, I still want to look presentable. It's not that. Hygiene, still important, but fashion, keeping up with the trends, it's so not important anymore. And that's free, very freeing. So I would love to hear whether you also feel that this period of your life, 40 to 50, somewhere thereabouts, perimenopause, has it brought you any gifts? If you are on the other side of it, what has it brought you? What have you learned from it? What do you know about perimenopause? What do you want to know about perimenopause? How does it feel? What are your experiences? What I can say is that in the 3 weeks I've been on what I call HRT, it is HRT, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. I wasn't on anything for a year. Prior to that, I did try a month. Everything went too high, and then I stopped because the doctor said, oh, your levels are too high. And we didn't address what I could do next. So I had nothing really for a year other than the little bit of testosterone gel cream. And I really felt, month by month by month, I felt myself getting worse and worse and worse. I've got many videos on the topic here on YouTube. I encourage you to go and watch them. They really are good. Especially if you're going through perimenopause, you will relate. You will relate so much. Anyway, so now I'm 3 weeks into it, and I'm not feeling as wrecked and as ravaged by perimenopause as I was. And that's a relief. But I remember, I remember what I was feeling 3 weeks ago. And as my partner says, my boyfriend says, there's almost this desperation in you to find a solution. And I'm like, yes, because I feel desperate. It's like, if this is the way I'm going to live, I feel like I felt like I was going to die. So I no longer feel like I want to die. I may not be feeling optimal, but I'm feeling hell of a lot better, a hell of a lot better, more energized. Still got the aches and pains, though, I will say. That could just be old age, and maybe I'm expecting a miracle for those to go away. But my mood is better, no more night sweats, I'm sleeping better, and in general, just feeling a little bit more well. So definitely there is something to the loss of hormones that cause havoc, and then there is something to replacing them that does feel better. Again, not telling you what to do, just sharing my experience. And yeah, perimenopause is a real thing that we go through, ladies, and I want us to honor it, to talk about it, to spread the word, spread the awareness, and just have an open dialogue. So I hope that this video has shed some light for you. I hope it's helped you resonate. Yeah, all those good things. And thank you for watching. Thank you for spending some time with me on my couch. And let's just get the star of the show. Here's the true star. Bye. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, hit the thumbs up. And I will see you, all you beautiful people, in my next video. Thank you so much for the support. As of today, my channel is on 814 subscribers, which is amazing for me. Let's get me to 1,000, please. Come on. Awesome. Thank you.